Hi, I'm Sydney and welcome back to my Flock and Squawk, and this week I'm going to be trying a dessert that I saw over on Facebook. It was a reel without any audio or actual instructions, just sort of what you saw on screen. So we're just gonna kind of get right into it and basically attempt to see what we are doing. So first off, we are going to need some puff pastry, and I've had mine on the counter thawing for about 30 minutes at this point. It recommends on the box about 40 minutes to thaw, so I'm thinking that I'll be able to kind of assemble stuff in that time frame. And then, since the video and stuff doesn't have any actual instruction, it just tells you what they're putting down and like with the order, I'm going to use the cook time for the spinach cheese swirls that it has here and use the temperature of 400 and kind of just use my best guess when it comes to temperature for this. So like I said, I've been having this thaw and it's just sort of over there at the moment. I'm only using one of the sheets, so I don't have a ton of this just hanging around. So let me put this sheet back in the freezer and we will get into the prep. So with that in the freezer, what we are going to need to do is get our apples. So I ended up grabbing 2 Honeycrisp apples. I think I probably only need 1 with how big these are, so I'm only going to start with 1. And they didn't peel their apples, but I feel like peeling makes more sense for the dessert. And so I'm going to start by just peeling my apples, or my apple. And yeah, like I said, I feel like peeling the apple makes the most sense. They didn't peel theirs. And I'm also not sure what type of apple because they weren't specific in the video. Like they specified like, oh, brown sugar and cinnamon, but not what type of apple they're using. And I'm sorry, Goggy, our little Goggito, is very curious. Do I have to put you in the bedroom? Do I have to put you away so you aren't being naughty? Are you curious about... You're blocking the one camera. Are you curious about peeled apple? Little Goggito. Okay, I'm gonna put you away. Alright, so I finished peeling my apple. Goggy is in the bedroom, so he's not gonna be in the middle of this, and I'm just going to slice it up. And just, if you have missed my previous video, well, last video, I announced alongside Connor that we are engaged and we are working on getting married. I'm also mentioned in that video, if you don't really want to watch it, that we aren't planning on sharing every detail of our wedding and maybe making like a wrap up after the fact. Obviously, I will be sharing if I'm doing any projects that kind of pertain to the wedding and decor and that sort of thing, but don't expect major updates. So I just sliced my apple off the core and I'm going to just do normal slices. I'm unsure how thick I should go. I think I'm just going to slice as I would normally for eating an apple. So not the most consistent of slices, but yeah, I'm super excited and we are kind of really seriously planning now. We've got a lot of stuff in the works. Nothing has been fully booked yet, but you know, we are in the early stages of the planning process. We have a spreadsheet with like 6 tabs, and yeah, that's sort of a little mini life update. And now I have my apple sliced, and I have a lemon here, so I might grab that and just do a little lemon juice over that because I think that's probably the best option. I feel like it brings out the flavor a lot. Let's grab the lemon. Lemon, it's a little bit abused looking. Not the freshest of lemons. I wonder if we can still like use it though. Let's give it a little slice open. Oh yeah. The smell of lemon smells delightful. I'm just gonna give a little squeeze over top the apple. And now we can pretty much just get to assembling. So here it is again in that video in case you need another look at what they were doing. But okay, got my lemon, got my apple. I'm gonna move this aside. Here is my puff pastry, and I'm just going to unroll it gently. And we are going to put it on this cutting board for the moment because we are going to get into this. I'm gonna adjust camera B. Ooh, you get like a reflection in this camera. So, first off, they want us to put down honey. I have honey, I have date syrup, and I have maple syrup because I figured if we're gonna do this, might as well try all three out. So with the honey, I need a spoon. And we are just going to give it a drizzle. This is pure fireweed honey. It's a semi-local honey. So Pacific Northwest honey. And I'm just going right down onto the cookie sheet because that's kind of what they show. So I don't have any mats down at the moment. So just a little dollop of honey. Let's just sort of do a couple. Oh, maple syrup might not be the best. Okay, maple syrup seems to be working. And then date syrup, which I didn't know about till probably 6 months or so ago. And I really like it. It has a little bit higher fiber content, and mine seems to not want to be moving. So please hold while I figure out this date syrup and if I need to just really work at it. All right, so it's actually been a little bit because I had a phone call, but I have my honey, my maple syrup, which I shouldn't have lifted up this tray because it's migrating, and then I have my date syrup. So I'm going to try all three and see how that goes. So I have those down, and I think that it is butter next. So I'm just going to go in, and they just literally show a pat of butter. They don't show anything like special. Like they're not like blending the ingredients or like anything. They're just like cutting off a little dainty piece of butter for each. And luckily I took out more butter because my stick that we have right here in our dish is running out. Oh, that's a little bit thick on that one. And we use unsalted, and I don't remember if they use any salt in their specific thing, but I'm gonna add a little salt to this because salt makes things better. So a little bit of this. My oven should be fully preheated now since it's been like almost 30 minutes, I think, since I last talked to the camera. The lighting definitely has changed. So got butter, a bag of salt. So I'm just gonna do a little bit of salt over each because this is kind of the nature of how they presented it. A little bit of salt. I'm going to take my Vietnamese cinnamon, which, you know, just some cinnamon. Do I use my fingers for this? Probably a spoon. I'm just gonna, ooh, it's a little strong. I'm gonna take some cinnamon, just sort of sprinkle. They kind of just did like a pinch of cinnamon. Not a whole bunch, but I'm just sort of letting the cinnamon fall how it be. I'm gonna use the back of the spoon to kind of. This might be a little too much cinnamon, but we're gonna work with it. Okay, so cinnamon and salt and all of that. Then they show a pinch of brown sugar. So that's what we are going to do. We're going to use just a pinch of brown sugar. I've just got pure dark brown sugar. And I just take a little. I feel like I did way too much cinnamon. I hope the butter and apples and all of that. They just do like the tiniest, daintiest amount of everything, it seems. It looked good though. So just a little of that. Now I have it fully under my nails. But now we're going to lay out our slices. Ooh, 3 slices on that one. They definitely used like a smaller apple or something. So I think 3 slices seems reasonable. This apple slice is a bit... Gonna make some executive decisions here. I feel like I could have fully sliced my apples thinner. Or apple. So we're just giving these a little slice off camera. Kind of see. Let's see. Each of these have their kind of like distinct taste in terms of sweetness and like just general feel, vibes, breakfasty, you know, they're all good, tasty treats. That's a good apple. So I got my puff pastry. It has definitely thawed. So I'm gonna sort of stretch it out. I think I can get away with just cutting it into thirds one way. And then half this way. So I think this will work. So I just cut it once this way. I'll give it a little bit of a stretch to kind of drape over. Sappho, no. Like, I could have spread these guys out further too. I'm just sort of following what I got. So I hope these work out. Fine. And then in the video, the very last step was egg wash. But they don't make that clear. I just know it is. So I'm gonna do that and let's toss this in the oven. I'm gonna start with 20 minutes. I think that's a pretty safe time. I'll probably check it in at 10. So egg wash and let's toss this in. So these have been out of the oven quite a while. We went on a little walk, we had dinner. So now it's time to see if they'll come off. They sound, when I tap the pastry, like they've baked nicely. And they look really good because of that egg wash.
They smell really good.
Yeah, the whole house is smelling delightful. So let's get a spatula and see how these pop off.
Yeah. I think I need to go to the other drawer.
Yeah, I think our spatulas are hiding. But I just have one of our dinner plates to pop it off onto. So,
There you go.
okay.
I can,
Oh, yeah. So this one has the date syrup. Well, the pastry sounds delightful with that crunch.
It mostly came
Yeah.
out.
And the date syrup gave it kind of a nice color. I was concerned that the apple wouldn't cook too nicely.
Is this also date syrup?
That is also date syrup.
We'll go to the other one.
Yep, so that one is maple syrup. So, a little bit different come off of the thing. It also looks pretty nice. The apple shrunk up quite a bit. And that one is the honey.
And this one is the stickiest. There we go.
Ooh. Like one part of the apple just like disappeared all.
Yeah, it's not here.
But the honey, I think, might look the best overall. It's got a nice sheen.
Mm-hmm.
The date syrup is a little bit sad by comparison because the apple, but I feel like the maple syrup has a nice color.
Yeah, let's try it. This is also a date syrup?
Yep.
Let's
I
see.
did 3 and 3, so we can share these guys.
I just want to
But-
see, since this one looks...
Oh, that one looks a little bit better.
Yeah.
So, and also with the date syrup, as you see here, it kind of bubbled and was starting to burn a little bit in the oven.
Yeah.
So maybe not recommend date syrup on that regard.
Mm-hmm.
But let's give this a taste. So I am going to take a butter knife. Ah. And we'll cut these. Kind of see.
Do you need a real knife?
Well, I'm thinking someone might not get much apple.
Oh no.
The pastry, the puff pastry has puffed up nicely, which, thank goodness for store-bought puff pastry. It can do loads of weightlifting.
Swole.
So, okay.
Alright.
I cut them into little pieces. So let's see. This is the date syrup to start with.
Dink.
It's nice. It's crisp. The apple has definitely cooked nicely. I was worried that it would be undercooked because of just putting raw apple slices. But on this one, it's good. Not as flavorful as I maybe expected given date syrup. It has kind of like its own raisiny taste to it. But in here, it kind of doesn't have as strong of a taste as it does otherwise.
I liked it. Definitely, you know, the puff pastry forward, but that apple flavor is there, and they were very jammy. The apple really broke down. It's nice.
And this is the maple syrup.
Nice.
So.
Oh, I can smell the maple. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
But it is distinctly better. Also, like the original video, I didn't measure stuff. So it's likely that some things had better proportions than others. This one has a little more cinnamon flavor.
Very good.
It doesn't have like pancake flavor, if that's what you're thinking about syrup. This is just plain maple syrup, so it doesn't have... It makes me think of breakfast when I smell it, but it doesn't have like a... It doesn't add breakfast element to this.
Very good. You could just cut to the next point. You don't have to worry about chewing fast.
Final try. It has the honey. It's the most sticky. And yeah.
Ooh, smells good too.
Interesting how different all three were.
The flavors are pronounced enough that I think anyone should try. The honey's my favorite. That's really good.
I feel like the date syrup is my least favorite. So I would say if you're doing it, maybe avoid that one. Plus the fact that it was going to burn.
I'm going to go ahead and cut this other date syrup just so we have a comparison. Because maybe that other one overcooked a bit.
But the maple syrup and the honey, I think, are the best of this. Honey might eke out just a little bit more. Because, for one, it didn't spread out like the syrup. The syrup was runny. So a little bit harder to control. And just like it has like a syrup quality when it's baked, but it's not.
Yeah.
There's just something about it.
It's good. Yeah, the date syrup has the least amount of smell. It almost smells like brown sugar.
There is a little bit of brown sugar with each, too.
Okay. So I smell the brown sugar on this one.
But, yeah, the date syrup by itself typically smells not that much, but it has, like, a little bit of, yeah, just, like, dried fruit raisin taste. But...
Yeah, even considering because this one's cooked very similar to the honey one. The honey one's definitely better. With the added risk of the date syrup burning, I think it's worth skipping out on.
Yeah, the maple syrup one is just harder to control as an ingredient because as soon as I like touched the sheet pan, it was like going everywhere. Was the honey, since it's that nice thick consistency, I feel like it worked the best for this application. And then yeah, the flavor, which a lot of honeys differ in flavor and whatnot, but if you go with a fireweed honey like we did, local-ish, like it seems to work really well. Flavors came through nicely. And yeah, I think it worked out well.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you don't have fireweed honey in your area, clover honey would be a pretty good substitute just by flavor profiles of honey. So, That's really good. I like that. That's a good dessert. Probably good with a little bit of like heavy whipped cream on top or something. So.
It would. A lot of the comments on the original video that I pulled this from were saying like whipped cream, ice cream, and then, yeah, just a lot of criticism from the fact that they didn't actually give the recipe.
They just threw stuff on there.
As you can see, me just winging it, it seems to work out pretty well. So, yeah, I think that's all I have to say.
Yeah, it's good. I definitely would like to have this more often.
Yeah, and it was super easy, so. But I think that's all we have for now. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you flock and squawk again with us sometime. Bye!
Bye!